don't need even security from anybody. But I need to eat and live. The next day, I need to be alive. Security is my life. If you are putting guns everywhere on the streets, everywhere and so on, but I'm dying out of hunger. By the way, I may be the most dangerous insecurity if I'm hungry.
Madam Kirabo, give us a solution. How do we get out of this?
Yeah, we are bound to get out of this situation only when government demonstrates the will to do. Actually, when we are here discussing and the cabinet is also proposing to cut down the government expenditure, then they shouldn't even spend more in those sugar conferences. You know how much money those guys are getting by sleeping in the State House there? Discussing. It's a lot of money, so we have to walk the talk. I want to pick it from where Honorable has dropped it. Food is the core insecurity issue. Food insecurity is traditionally known. My mother, humble as she is, every time she could hear us quarreling amongst ourselves, she could ask one simple question: are you hungry? That's what I grew up knowing. It's the number one cause of insecurity. So until when this government embraces the issues of food as security issues, we are bound to get into so many problems. Secondly, it's about the sugar conferences and all these conferences that are going on. Moderator, I want listeners to appreciate that this is an indicator that the private sector has failed. It has failed like the economic crisis hit America, and America realized that they can't leave a private sector-led economy. The government has to come in. So now if the government of Uganda entrusted the private sector to produce and supply sugar in this economy, this is an indicator, number one, that the private sector doesn't have the capacity to take on the government, the state duties and obligations. Secondly, the sugar thing, for me, is a very sad situation. And part of what is affecting this country is the elitism of looking at issues. Like Honorable has put it, in this country, there is a considerable proportion of this population that spends the whole year without earning a shilling.
They are linked to the soil.
They are linked to the soil, and in any case, if they see money around them, it is a donation from either the daughters, the relatives, or something. So even when sugar costs 800 shillings, that part of the population would not buy. So when do food issues become issues? When they have hit the elites. Before the sugar crisis came into this country, the kilogram of maize flour has been selling 2,500 from 800. When you grew up, it was at 300 or less than that. Yes. And when hunger hits into the household heads suggests, let us take a cup of porridge and jackfruit, and that is a meal in a traditional homestead where hunger has hit. When the price of flour hit that much, because it is not an elite commodity, maize flour, because it is not an elitist commodity,
there's no alarm.
No alarm. That tells you, Mr. Moderator and the listeners, that the voices of the biggest part of the population of this country is never heard. Because the small 20% of this economy shouted over sugar, then we had the sugar conference. And so we even came up with the remedy. Nobody is minding that now that farmers have produced some food, do you know what is happening? They are spraying the maize from the field to dry fast with herbicides.
Oh, they do that?
They are doing that. Such that they can tap into this market and bring grain on the market. Premature grain on the market, which is also dangerous. We can't discuss about food issues and we don't talk about food safety issues. It's dangerous. They are drying it. I was in the field last week, and the farmers saying, we are finished. The maize is just drying up, but the rains have started. means that the amount of grain that is coming on the market is not dry enough, and we are going to be consuming aflatoxin. You're looking for solutions. One, the solutions are not in those conferences.
If it's not dry enough.
It's not dry enough, then it
Just
molds.
mold inside of it.
Yes.
So you have bacterial infections.
That's
It's dangerous to human health.
leading to cancer. That is the kind of grain that is coming on. The solution now is not in the conferences calling RDCs. I saw an RDC.
Agriculture officers are going to set up some tasks.
The agriculture officers.
I can promise you there's going to be a solution coming out of it. Take my word.
Okay. Of course they have to come up with a solution, whether it is workable or not. But what I'm saying is now, one, this is the new season coming up, and we all know that in this country there is no single good quality seed. That's why even the Prime Minister's office, when it went out to buy seed for the Waritanese, they bought fake seeds. Then two, how do we manage the current production that God has blessed us with? Because we never calculated, we never planned for it, we never invested. But somehow there is some God-given production. Let the state go in. The farmers are stranded with the little produce because they can't dry it, they can't sell it. The production infrastructure is dead. Let us correct it, plan for it, block the borders. Yes, we need
Even
to.
though we're part of this African community.
We have to. We know part of the things that why the ESC will not take off are issues of state sovereignty. And
We'll talk about that another time. Mr. Mukunda.
I think for me, is the solution is not really rocket science. For sure. They are very simple. And I have told you that there is a reason where we can save money and invest in some of these areas. Number one is that under the state house budget, this kind of financial year, they have budgeted for welfare and entertainment at 1.9 billion. Which is not
what does that mean?
For me, 1.19 billion is too much for the region. That's not almost the whole budget for the sub-county. Travel inland is at 2.8 billion. Those are expenditures we can begin to go down. Special drinks and meals, 979 million. This is current financial year. I took time to look at the budget.
House without money is coming into the end.
For me, really, we are trying to, this is austerity. We are trying to do budget cuts to save our country. We need to save money. We are in a crisis. Then there is something like mass mobilization toward poverty alleviation. This before we make around. Budget at 9.7 billion. We can hold them for next year. I'm not saying these things are not important. These things are very important, moderator. But I think for this year, let us hold them for next year. But there are other areas we can also look at. Why don't we combine some government bodies like Uganda Wildlife Authority, Uganda Investment Authority, Uganda Export Promotion Board, and make them into one entity? We shall save an administrative cost of those agencies. Public Service Commission, Education Service Commission, Health Service Commission. We can make one body. We can save from those kind of areas. So for me, there's some of those areas that we can to bring together and we save money because we are cutting the cross according to its length. The other part is there is this. You find that the ministries are doing almost the same things.
What do you mean?
Duplication of activities. For example, there is money under the state house again. Regional integration. I thought we have money for Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 3.1 billion.
But there is also a Minister of East African Affairs.
Even there is money for tourism. I was like, we have a Minister of, we have actually split now, we have a Minister of Tourism around. So I thought this kind of duplication also increases our administrative costs.
But what is in money? Through State House,
yes.
At the same time, Minister of Education also getting money.
So for me, those are some of the few areas we can, we need to start looking at. The government chief whip, for example, I think we can sort of hold on to that amount of money for next year. Because remember, we are dealing with a crisis. The snake is in the house, we need to kill it. So for me, the other part is, I'm glad that cars, that government has decided that we should not buy new cars. And I'm glad that even the Parliament has put on hold the purchase of new vehicles.
The URSs, they should be easy.
Yes, they should. Yeah, they should.
Which is more expensive.
Yeah, I think for me that is a very good move because these vehicles cost a lot of money. Yes.
Listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio. Tonight, what proposals are civil society organizations making to help the country overcome the challenges? It's a big topic. I'm really comfortable. But you can call in now.
Our numbers 0414 348 111 0312 260 0312 261 calling, please tell us your name and where.
My proposal will only be change of attitude and mentality.
What do you mean?
Change of attitude and mentality. We should come out and say,
Okay, well, call on the line is taken. Spectrum, hello? Hello, you please tell us your name and your address.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, your name, sir?
This is Wamboga, Nigeria.
You're welcome.
I would like to thank your panelists, Edmond, because they are spot on. The advice, the issues they are raising, the observations they've made are absolutely correct. The problem we have is that, as you see, who is being consulted? The president summons cabinet ministers. These have their interests and areas to protect. First of all, the cabinet is someone who is very large. It needs to be trimmed down. Ministries must be merged. We need austerity measures right from policy and also from institutional arrangement. That's one. Two, one of the immediate things to be done is look at the taxes. The taxes on fuel must be brought down. And I want to suggest how. For instance, we have luxurious importations of wines, whiskeys, perfumes, those things.
We lost you, Deja. You can still call back in. Spectrum, hello? 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 Okay. Alright, we lost Mr. Obogamji, but you can still go back. Yes, Spectrum, hello? Your name, my friend? Alright, we still can't get you. We have another caller, your name? Can't get clear, we'll get back to the studio. Honorable Tom. You have some, we have, go on.
in fact, it has even gone beyond the constitutional requirement.
We have only 76 ministers.
Oh, come on.
It's not better in Uganda.
And the issue of taxation. You see, I was looking at cutting taxes on sugar.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis cutting taxes on fuel.
We have someone on the line. Spectrum, hello? Hello? There is something, I hope. Okay. We'll try one more time. Spectrum, hello? Okay, maybe the problem is somewhere in the middle. Let's see if it can be rectified. Honorable Toilet.
So, taxation. If government was serious and realistic, we had the issue of the national oil reserve in Uganda and so on. I debated this matter here in 2007 when I just joined Parliament. Here with the Honorable Migreko, I remember still so well. And he assured the nation that day that they were now going to work on the reserve in Uganda.
That's 4 years ago.
That is more than 4 years ago. Yeah, I think that's about 4 years ago. What has happened up to now? Completely nothing. Parliament has been asking for this. Civil society has been asking for this. Because what has happened everywhere in the world, when you have a problem and a fuel crisis, what do? You get back to your reserve. Just like when you have a problem in the economy, you go back to the reserve. That is the only thing.
We did to boost our security. We fell back on our
So, you see, if government was being realistic in this sugar conference, they would have, the first thing they would have looked at is actually fuel. Because if you are talking of the price of a commodity, the first incident is the price of transportation. Even sugar that we are talking about, let me tell you, even if the tax has been cut even on sugar, the actual price to the pineapple sugar is not going to change. Why do I say so? Because you are still going to transport this sugar from Kampala to Oyam.
And fuel prices
from Kampala
does it rise? Somebody said
to Koboko.
They bought fuel at 4,000.
Exactly. So they are still going to charge according to what they have spent on transportation. So government would have come out very clear on the issue of taxation. Let me tell you, revenue authority
As we talk now, revenue authority is collecting money all over. From everywhere.
Which is not a problem.
But the people who pay these taxes don't even know. You know?
Yes.
They are not even sure why they are paying the tax, and they don't even know how the taxes are being, spent and also got from them.
Right.
They don't know.
Indirect taxes like on sugar. Madam Kirabo, how are the people in the village when you talk to them in food prices? What do they say? What are they for? Oh, you can learn some survival from.
You really need to learn from their
One
fault.
thing I've learned myself, and is creating a small issue at home, is buying brown bread. It lasts longer on the table.
because the children don't like it. It's about that the children don't like it so much, and you think it is lasting longer. Well,
It's my contact, but tell us what the village people are doing.
well, I think.
Okay, we have someone on the line. Your name, sir?
My name is Anthony.
Yes, Anthony.
I'm calling from Uganda. Thank you so much for the good program, and thanks for the panelists radio. I think the problem that this nation is suffering from is something that you cannot really address on radio as we speak right now. Because when something really goes wrong, you need to find out the cause. Since 1986, we have had a problem where people are no longer having any cash crops to sell. Now, whatever they have to grow, they end up using the money, rather using the food to sell so that they can have something to use, something to buy other essentials. So, the problem that we are actually faced with at the moment is something that needs really a sober government in place to address. Now, we just had people coming in, the RDC is being addressed to go and sort out the problem. I think this is just hoodwinking the Uganda.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anthony. We'll move forward right now. We expect solutions from State House on Thursday. Important meetings. Spectrum, hello? Please switch off your radio or away from it. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
I can't hear you.
You can go ahead. Your name, sir?
Spectrum, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
My contribution is that the whole world basically is now in a tough situation because of having lived beyond their means. Wherever you look, whether it's
Okay. Spectrum, hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name? Hello? You're live on Spectrum. Your name? Okay. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Your name?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
My name is Oyam.
Yes?
I just want to say one thing. This government, NRM, was supposed to follow some kind of social system of government. But they diverted from that, and now they in totality went into capitalism. And that capitalism, by adopting the World Bank policies and the IMF, which has failed in the whole world. And I'm telling you, the people in the Ministry of Finance and economists are not doing as good. Actually, what we need is best food for the people of Uganda. That is the policy which can now actually save us from economic crisis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's get back. One final caller, Spectrum, hello?
Ahmed Balige, Uganda has one problem. Politicians presiding over the affairs of this country don't want to listen to alternative political, economic, social views. That's all. Because if you look at, like the point, those people you have deployed there are airing out. I wish government could just borrow some ideas from them.
Thank you very much indeed, Madam Chair.
Thank
I don't know
you.
where to start from. Go.
I just wish to thank the callers for the kind of input they have given to us this evening. If I may comment on Anthony's submission, because we lost Peter, about the food crops becoming cash crops. It's global. I wouldn't have a very big problem if food crops become cash crops, because the same energy is invested in production, the way production is done in Uganda. If somebody is engaging his or her energies into an enterprise that will serve both for the better. Because I also want listeners to understand, we are operating in a rotten system.
What do you mean by that?
A rotten system is a system that assumes that some person is taking on your responsibility who is not responsible for your situation.
At what level do you want to place that strong blame?
It's a
Community, because they don't do Umuganda, don't dig a road also?
No, I think was it Wedol Balga who said, you know, we adopted the IMF and World Bank policies because of the public relation and receptionist cosmetics of handling things, and we handed over our responsibility to the private sector, which private sector doesn't have the responsibility over the issues that we are giving them. They don't have a duty to play. Members, you also, some of you witnessed what happened in Mukono, the vanilla boom. When the communities in Mukono accessed the food security through the market by selling vanilla as a cash crop, and they couldn't cook it for lunch. So when the market forces again failed, because they don't have control over them, they never had the income from the vanilla, and again they never had food for the household. And that is a double crisis at the household level, which I may not accept. It's not bad to have food crops for income, but so long as it is well planned for and managed. And then this whole thing of failure to listen, I just wish to understand it that people are reaping big from this rotten way of doing things. Yes, they're just reaping big, and they don't mind.
Eating from the crisis, like they used to say in the past. Mr. Mukunda, as well.
I mean, I think as we wind up, I think it's a big lesson for us. Even the countries that are giving us money to support us are being costed.
They're tightening their own belts.
Yes. What I'm looking forward to is for government to bring back the new budget. Because the budget that they have presented tonight is currently financed.
Without that, it's supplementary.
I mean, they should bring back another budget that said, look, this is the budget we brought, the institution has changed. This is a new budget that is will able to get us out of this economic crisis. And to me, this is a kind of
Honorable.
You know, this is going to be for short term. For now, short term is very clear. We need to reprioritize our budget. As of now, there is no way we are going to escape from this situation unless we look at our budget, we reprioritize, and we focus money on productive areas which can help the ordinary person first to be boosted, and then we can think about other things. That is short term. Long term, we should learn from this lesson. And the only way we can learn from it is by us sitting down and doing research. You see, why I'm emphasizing on research? We have a country where people don't know what happens in their own country. They don't know. I'm even challenging members of parliament that most of them are ignorant.
Yes.
In fact, about what happens in the country. Because if you are able to have your salary here, you put fuel here, you don't know what is happening in the villages. Let me tell you, here, the price of fuel here is
3,750.
In the rural areas, in far distant places, it's about 5,000 per liter. Do they know? No. So ignorance is playing a big role in what we are doing today. We should do research and understand the state in which we are in, and immediately look forward to a solution.
We have to go. Maybe that's why MPs need a higher pay and brand new cars. Only 190 million. We have to end here. Thank you very much, leader. Guest Honorable Hon Ishaa Otto, Executive Director of Water for Life Uganda. Also, he's a former member of Parliament for Oyam South. Thank you for coming to Spectrum. Madam Agnes Kirabo, Coordinator Food Rights Alliance, also Communication and Advocacy Officer at VEDCO, and Mr. Julius Mukunda, Senior Programs Director at FOWODE, also member of the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, and have been the host at Mount Chizito. Spectrum will be back tomorrow. Up next, there is the news in the English language. To stay tuned.
Let's talk about the home of your dreams and how you plan to finance it. Let's discuss money, location, and time frames, and whether you plan to build it or purchase it.
Let's find a way for you to get started now so that you get into your own home sooner than later.